A.J. Allmendinger gets the free pass on David Stremme. Spin in turn 3 after losing a tire at lap 455, 8th caution of the day. Here's today's NASCAR Sprint Cup Mobile monster moment. Kyle Busch going around Jimmy Johnson. Busch has led 332 laps so far, and there's been nobody that he can't pass.
No, in 3 out of the 5 races we've had this year, you think about Daytona, dominated Daytona, got knocked out in the wreck. Vegas, dominated Vegas. Today, dominated. He's got 1 win out of those 3 dominations so far.
Coming to green with 41 laps to go. There are now 16 cars on the lead lap, including Allmendinger. Right behind Kyle Busch, his teammate Denny Hamlin, just as hungry for a win as Kyle is, hungrier yet. And then Casey Kane, Mark Martin, Jimmy Johnson, the front 5, Jeff Gordon, Burton, Newman, Ambrose, Montoya, the top 10.
Yeah, you've got the 2 Toyotas, the Dodge of Casey Kane, and then 3 of the Chevrolets of Hendrick Motorsports right behind there, 4th through 6th.
Yeah, I think Jeff Gordon, I think they may have made some adjustments on that car because they went way off the wrong way there the run before, but it looks like he's keeping up pretty good this time.
They seem to have a short run car, and that's what we've got. When they put those tires on, it's 51 laps to go.
And 2 guys, Larry, that I think have done a great job today, come in here just kind of on the bubble. Mark Martin in the 5 and Ryan Newman in the 39. Newman sitting there in 8th spot. He needed a good run today. Hopefully he's going to get a good finish out of this thing. He's been running good all day.
Now amongst the leaders, the lap cars of Robbie Gordon, number 7, and Bobby Labonte, 96. Labonte holding to the bottom. Lead lap cars working their way past.
Labonte's been a tough pass all day, but even now he's down out of the way, trying to give the guys room, but he's got a decent race car. He just doesn't have a car good enough to hold these guys up.
Tony Stewart in that 14 car, he's trying to stay the first car 1 lap down to get the free pass should we get the caution.
Now behind that group, Jeff Burton, last year's winner, sitting in 7th, battling Ryan Newman.
You know, not far behind this battle right here, we'll continue to monitor Marcos Ambrose in that 47 car. It's been reported he's down a cylinder, but he's still hanging there in the top 10 in 10th with 35 laps to go. There you see Marcos.
It's probably more like what he's accustomed to. It run like a nationwide car right now.
Yeah.
A little slow on the straightaway, but digging through the corners.
Holding on to a top 10 spot. Montoya made that move as Travis Kvapil slipped up the racetrack. Montoya jumped underneath. Boy, Montoya's had a great day here, trying to nail down only his 2nd short track top 10 since moving to NASCAR.
Still out there running the top. Still out there to 28. Still going to be there.
Yeah, I talked to Brian Patty, Juan Pablo Montoya's crew chief, this morning. He said, you know, we are improving every week. We've not had the greatest luck, but we feel good like we're moving forward every single week we go to the racetrack.
Jimmy Johnson gets around Mark Martin there as a power move.
Good job.
That's 4th place. And here comes Jeff Gordon.
48 went by on the inside, 24 going to go by on the outside. Mark says, hey, teammates, cut me some slack.
Now, while we're watching this battle, nothing's really changed at the front as Kyle Busch is maintaining about a half a second lead over his teammate Denny Hamlin with now 30 laps to go.
When we talked to Denny Hamlin yesterday, a lot of the comparisons he made to other teams were to the other car at Joe Gibbs Racing at the front of the pack here, Kyle Busch. And those two measure themselves against each other. And I get the feeling there's nobody that Denny would rather beat here today than the car that's right in front of him.
And when I talk about physical and mental fatigue, I think about Kyle running like three races on a given weekend, trucks, nationwide, and cup. He ran 300 laps here yesterday, finished 6th. That's the difference in he and Hamlin right now. Hamlin set out yesterday because he wanted to be fresh for today. So laps around the racetrack doesn't seem to hurt Kyle Busch at all. Matter of fact, they seem to make him better.
I know the magic number there, Darrell. 23. That's how old Kyle Busch is.
Good point.
27 laps to go. Kyle Busch holding off Denny Hamlin by half a second. Kyle Busch beginning to stretch it out a little bit on Denny Hamlin. 20 laps to go. The two Joe Gibbs Toyotas at the front of the field. Casey Kane third, Jimmy Johnson, Jeff Gordon. And contact between David Stremme and Joey Logano 2 laps ago in turn 4.
Well, Stremme's 1 lap down. Logano's a couple laps down. I think probably just wanted him to move out of the way. I don't think he expected him maybe to knock the fence down, but he did.
You know, Stremme's on a mission right now, trying to get up there to become the first car a lap down. He's got a couple of cars in front of him, Tony Stewart and Travis Quapple, so he was not going to waste a lot of time behind Logano in the 20.
And the good news is now, if we have a caution, we will have a single file restart because we're inside 20 laps.
Right.
That's huge on this little racetrack.
Two-lane door, corner, clear all the way, all the way.
Kyle Busch is trying to become a 2-time winner at any racetrack for the first time. He's had some coulda, woulda, shouldas here.
Got to be. If what happened to him, just think about what happened to him last year. Think about what happened to him yesterday. I can't imagine what's going through his mind right now as he tries to hang on to the win here.
Here's our last Ask.com question. Darrell Waltrip had a 7-race win streak at Bristol Motor Speedway. Who broke it? To get the answer at Ask.com and enter the Ask.com NASCAR Challenge, you might win a trip to Talladega from the official search engine of NASCAR.
That's, you know what, when 7 races, a lot of races. I'll be the first to admit that, obviously, but that's 3,500 laps.
Wow.
Pretty much mistake-free.
Yeah.
Didn't you say that was when Gary Baker owned the racetrack and he hoped to meet a lot of famous drivers at Victory Lane and all he got to see was you?
The only guy who said, man, I could have had my picture maybe with you at home.
And here's a battle for third between Casey Kane in the 9, Jimmy Johnson in the 48 car. Of course, the 48 team lost some spots on that last pit stop as we're closing in on 13 laps to go. You just saw Coach Gibbs. He wants to break a streak of being able not to close the deal here at Bristol Motor Speedway.
Casey Kane had to close Jimmy Johnson quickly because they're getting right up into lap traffic. Here comes Johnson back on the inside, but that's where John Andretti's lap car is.
Yeah, John got out of the way nicely, though.
Yep.
And while they've been going side by side, that 24 car, Jeff Gordon back there in the 5th spot, he's closing in there. You see him right there about 3 car lengths back.
Yeah, they made a good adjustment on that car, the 24 car, this last pit stop, and he is a lot better than he was the last run.
Well, they just showed Kyle Busch 10 laps to go, and Denny Hamlin has closed it down to 0.6 of a second as we watch the battle rage on for third.
There's 10 laps to go. There's about a dozen cars sitting out there in front of him he's going to have to deal with.
Yeah, that's going to be the tough part. I mean, he's got a cluster of cars here in front of him that he's going to be right up in the middle of when we come down here to the last few laps of this race. That could be the difference.
The 8 laps to go this time for Kyle Busch, and the 18 car has about a half-second lead over Denny Hamlin with a lot of lap cars in front of him.
Jeff Gordon takes 4th away from Casey Kane, but the action's right in front of the race leader.
You got it. And if you go on the bottom and you get bogged down trying to pass somebody, that 11 can jump to the outside and you can have a heck of a battle to the finish line. Oh, we got a blown engine.
20 is blowing up. Caution's out. Caution's out. Caution.
It was the teammate of our 2 leaders, Joey Logano, who was brought out the 9th caution of the day.
Guess what?
Hang around to the truck if
there won't be any traffic, any lap traffic in their way when they get this restart.
No, it'll be a single file restart, and depending on how much cleanup may be necessary, we could have as few as 2 laps to go when we go green.
Out the exhaust pipe coming over the front straightaway.
Now that car has smoke coming out of it today, and it had smoke coming out of it earlier this year. Tony Stewart.
For the last 10 years.
Right.
Now what's
interesting. Tough break for Logano. Excuse me, Larry. He is going to have to qualify on time next week at Martinsville. He won't be in the top 35, it doesn't look like.
Frustration in a couple of ways right there. The engine blows up in the 20, and it really changes the complexity of this race with his 2 guys up there leading the race.
Well, I think the thing coach is worried about, we're going to a racetrack that I don't think Joey Logano has been to before. And he's going to have to qualify on time, and that's tough to do at Martinsville.
It's a maybe, Darrell. Depends on how many cars complete more laps than Logano as the rest of this race runs. But he's going to be right on the cusp of being outside the top 35.